Welcome back to the channel, guys, and in today's Blender tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a realistic looking soap bubble shader in Blender 4.2. So you can see here I'm just using a model from a previous tutorial that I did on making a gummy bear, and the idea here is mainly just showing you how to make the shader. So I think on top of the shading here I'm also going to just show you how to get a HDRI, so a high dynamic range image, into Blender, because when it comes to making something that is transparent and reflective like this, your environment lighting is kind of going to be half of the thing that's going to make it realistic. In fact, it's one of the more important things, not just the shader. It's also going to come down to your lighting and reflection. So we'll cover that a little bit, but really this is a dead simple, very beginner friendly shader. It's only a few nodes, and I think it makes a nice realistic looking bubble shader, as you can see here. So let's jump in and I'll show you step by step how to make this look realistic. So to make this soap bubble material, you can use any object that you want. I'm going to be using this gummy bear that I showed you guys how to make in a previous tutorial. You guys can do whatever you want though. You can use a sphere, anything you want to turn into a bubble. The idea here is just to make the shader. Now here's my setup. I have the object, in this case the gummy bear, and behind it I have an area light. So I just went Shift A, I added in an area light and then just rotated it, and I just gave it a strength of like 90 watts and a size of 2 meters. Very simple. Then I've just got my camera here in Blender, and with the rendering in the render engine here, I just set my render engine to cycles and I just enabled my GPU. If you don't have a GPU, that's fine. And I'm just working with a max samples of 55 over here, and the denoising is enabled. With that out of the way, there's one more thing I want to also mention. Under my world properties here, by default, we just have this color here. And it's just like kind of like a gray color. Now, when we're working with a bubble material, the environment lighting is really important if we want to get some nice results. So lighting does matter. So what we're going to do, we're just going to add a very simple environment light. So you're going to go to the internet, and you're just going to type in Polyhaven like this. So type in Polyhaven and press enter. And then just go over here to where it says HDRIs. Okay, so they have a HDRI, stands for high dynamic range image. And you're going to see here there are a whole bunch of these. You can pick whatever you want. It's just an environment that can cast some lighting into your scene. So you can pick any one of these many options that they have. And then once you click on it, for example, you just go over here, you can set the resolution, and then you can come over here and just click on download, and it'll download to your downloads folder. Okay, so download it, put it somewhere in your computer. You can pick any one you want on here. And then once you're in Blender, you're just going to go over to your world properties. Click here on this little yellow tab, and then go over and click on environment texture, and then simply click on open, and then go to wherever it is on your computer where you downloaded that HDRI. So I have a whole library of them here, and I'm just going to go with one that I know works really well. So it's just this one here. You might pick a different one. And now if you press Z and you go rendered, you should be able to see you have some nice environmental lighting, and you have this kind of area light in the back. And that's really going to be important when it comes to making a nice looking soap bubble material, because the environmental lighting is going to be important. So like I said, pick whichever one of those high dynamic range images you want. So I'm going to go into the shading workspace. I'm going to select the bear in this case. I'm going to press Z and I'm going to go rendered. And I'm just going to click new, and we get the default principled here. I'm just going to click on it and click delete. Then we're going to go Shift A search over here and type in mix. Let's go with a mix shader down here. Let's plug the shader into the surface input of the material output node. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag on the bottom shader here of the mix shader. We're going to type in glossy and get a glossy BSDF. There we go. And let's come over here to the roughness and make it 0.07. And we're going to come here to the color and just make it slightly bluish, kind of cyan over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the top shader. We're going to click and drag on it, and we're going to type in trans. And let's go with transparent BSDF. Don't mix it up with the translucent. Make sure it says transparent. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go Shift A, click on search and type in layer, and then click on layer weight, and then take this facing output and plug it into the mix of the mix shader. And already you can see this is starting to look really cool, but we can make this look even better by grabbing our transparent, dragging on this color, and let's type in noise and get a noise texture. We're going to go with the color here. There we go. Already this is starting to look really good. We're going to make the scale a value of 3. And we're going to come over here to the vector, just drag on it and type in texture coordinate, And let's go with the object. Okay, so we got the object going into the vector here. And to add more saturation to this, you can go Shift A, search, and type in U, and go to U, saturation and value, and place it on this cable. And now what you can do is, if you wanted to, you can go over here and go 1.1 and just slightly bump up the saturation of the color here in the bubbles. And you can come here to the U and make it 0.65, just to shift it a little bit. I think that just looks a little bit more realistic, but here you can see we have a soap bubble material. So once you have that done, let's go over to render and click render image to see what this looks like. And there we have it, a realistic looking soap bubble shader in Blender. I really hope you have enjoyed this Blender tutorial. Definitely give it a like, subscribe, and check out some of my other content. And I'll see you guys next time.